Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this exciting journey into the world of rare and highly valuable coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1978 1-cent coin, a piece of currency that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary value, which has skyrocketed to an astonishing $84 million because of the unique errors, mistakes, and anomalies that make it such a rare and coveted item. And as we explore this coin, we'll uncover the intricate details of its production, the historical context surrounding its minting, and the various factors that have contributed to its astronomical value. Starting with a brief overview of the era in which it was produced, the late 1970s were a time of economic fluctuation in the United States, with inflation rising and the cost of living increasing, which affected not only the economy but also the production and circulation of coins. The 1978 1 cent, often referred to as the Lincoln cent or penny, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and like many coins of its time, it was intended for general circulation. Yet what sets this particular coin apart from its counterparts is the remarkable number of minting errors that occurred during its production. One of the most notable errors is the double die obverse, a situation where the coin's design was accidentally engraved twice, slightly misaligned, onto the die, resulting in a doubling effect visible on the lettering and date. This kind of error is exceptionally rare and highly sought after by collectors because it represents a moment where human oversight and machine precision intersected to create something entirely unique. Another significant factor contributing to the coin's immense value is the presence of off-center strikes, which occur when a coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. In the case of the 1978 1 cent, certain off-center errors resulted in portions of Lincoln's profile or the date being partially struck, creating a visually striking and historically significant anomaly. In addition to double die and off-center errors, some coins from this year exhibit what is known as die cracks, which are tiny fractures that appear on the coin's surface due to stress on the die. These cracks, while often considered flaws in the minting process, are actually highly prized by collectors because they are entirely unintentional and impossible to replicate, further adding to the uniqueness of each coin. Beyond these minting errors, there are also varieties such as repunched mint marks, where the mint mark, in this case the small d for Denver or S for San Francisco if applicable, was punched more than once, sometimes slightly misaligned, producing a ghostly second impression that is incredibly rare. These subtle variations are often only visible under magnification, yet their presence can dramatically increase the coin's value. The combination of these errors and varieties creates a perfect storm of rarity that explains why the 1978 1 cent has achieved such a staggering valuation. But to fully appreciate its worth, we must also consider the historical context of coin collecting during this period. In the 1970s, coin collecting was experiencing a resurgence as a hobby and investment, fueled by the realization that certain coins could dramatically appreciate in value due to scarcity and error. Enthusiasts and investors alike began scrutinizing coins for any anomaly, and the 1978 1 cent quickly emerged as a prime candidate for attention due to the sheer number of reported errors. Each coin carries a story of its journey through the mint, the handling processes, and the machines that struck it, and each error represents a snapshot in time, a tangible piece of history that connects collectors to the past. When examining a 1978 1 cent, experts look for specific telltale signs of these errors. For example, in double die obverse coins, the letters in the word Liberty may appear doubled, the date may have overlapping numbers, and other inscriptions can show faint secondary impressions. These details, while minor to the untrained eye, are significant indicators of rarity and value. Similarly, off-center strikes may range from barely noticeable misalignments to dramatic shifts where up to 50% of the coin's design is missing, and the more pronounced the error, the higher the potential value. In terms of grading, These coins are evaluated not only for their errors but also for their overall condition, with factors like luster, scratches, wear, and cleanliness playing a crucial role in determining the final valuation. A 1978 1 cent with a prominent minting error and near-perfect condition can reach astronomical sums because it combines rarity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal, and the market for such coins is highly competitive. With collectors willing to pay top dollar to acquire a piece that is both visually unique and historically important, the story of the 1978 1 cent also highlights the human and mechanical interplay at the mint. The fact that errors exist demonstrates that even in a controlled, industrial process, perfection is not guaranteed, and these imperfections become the very reason collectors find value. Every crack, every doubling, every off-center strike tells a story of the minting process, the pressures on the dies, the exact alignment of the coin blank, and the subtle variations in each press, further enhancing the allure and mystique of these coins. Beyond the tangible errors, there is also speculation regarding rare metallic anomalies. While the 1978 1 cent was primarily composed of a copper-zinc alloy, some coins have shown slight deviations in composition due to mixing of planchets or contamination during production. Coins with such anomalies are extraordinarily rare, and when authenticated, they can command premium prices. This adds another layer to the reasons why this coin is so valuable. The possibilities are endless in the realm of error coins, from minute die polish lines to minor planchet defects. Each contributes to a narrative of rarity, and the 1978 1 cent embodies all of these elements. Collectors and investors are drawn to the coin not only for its monetary value but also for its uniqueness, and it represents an investment that combines numismatic history with financial potential. The market dynamics also play a key role, as demand for high-grade, error-laden coins consistently exceeds supply, especially for coins like the 1978 1 cent where multiple error types intersect. Auctions for such coins often attract global attention, with buyers bidding tens of millions to secure a piece. The provenance of a coin can further enhance its value. Coins that can be traced to prominent collections or that have been certified by leading grading agencies like PCGS or NGC gain credibility and desirability. These certifications authenticate the error, grade, and condition, providing buyers with confidence in their investment. The allure of the 1978 1 cent is also fueled by the stories surrounding it. Collectors share accounts of finding these coins in circulation, in rolls of pennies, or inherited from family collections. Each discovery adds to the lore and the narrative of someone stumbling upon an $84 million coin in a jar of pennies captures the imagination. The rarity is compounded by the fact that not all 1978 1 cent coins exhibit errors. The vast majority are standard circulation strikes, making the error coins exceedingly scarce. Scarcity drives value, and in the case of the 1978 1 cent, scarcity is magnified by the variety and magnitude of errors present. Double die obverse coins alone are rare, but when combined with off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, the combinations become almost unique, and collectors recognize that owning such a coin is akin to owning a piece of numismatic history that is unlikely to be replicated. Furthermore, these coins have been studied extensively by numismatists, with detailed catalogs documenting known varieties and error types. These references provide guidance for identifying authentic coins and assessing their value. The 1978 1 cent has multiple entries in such catalogs, each describing specific characteristics that distinguish one coin from another. The meticulous documentation highlights the significance of these errors and the potential financial impact. Another fascinating aspect is the artistic and aesthetic appeal of error coins, while imperfections might be seen as flaws in other contexts. Next, 1983 1 cent. Today we have an extraordinary story that could change the way you look at the pennies in your pocket, because today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1983 1 cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of numismatists. collectors, and investors worldwide due to its astounding value, which can reach up to $34 million depending on its specific errors, mistakes, and rarity factors, and the journey to understanding why a coin that most people consider ordinary can fetch such astronomical prices begins with recognizing that not all coins are created equal, and among the many coins minted in 1983, a particular subset possesses unique characteristics that elevate them from everyday currency to highly coveted collector's items, primarily because of errors in the minting process, mistakes that occurred during production, and other anomalies that are exceedingly rare, and these anomalies make the 1983 1 cent not just a coin but a tangible piece of history, a conversation starter, and an investment that has proven itself to grow in value over the years. And the first type of error that makes these coins so valuable is the well-known double die error, where the die that strikes the coin was misaligned or accidentally engraved twice, leading to letters, numbers, or other design elements appearing doubled, such as the date or the inscriptions on the coin. And these double die errors are incredibly rare because the minting process is highly controlled, and yet human oversight and mechanical limitations allowed for these mistakes to slip through, making coins with such features highly sought after, because collectors know that the combination of rarity and visible anomaly creates a perfect storm for value appreciation. And another notable error that contributes to the 1983 1 cent's value is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin blank, or planchet, is not perfectly aligned within the coining press, causing the design to be partially missing or shifted to one side. And while smaller off-center strikes may be common and less valuable, extreme cases where more than half of the design is missing or dramatically misaligned are exceedingly rare, and these examples can command prices that reach millions, particularly when paired with other characteristics such as full mint luster and no post-mint damage. And adding to the intrigue of the 1983 1 cent is the presence of clipped planchets, a minting mistake, where the metal blank is not cut into a perfect circle, resulting in coins that are incomplete or irregularly shaped. And while it may seem counterintuitive, these imperfections make the coin more collectible, because they are evidence of the manufacturing process and a rare deviation from the norm. And historically, collectors have been willing to pay staggering sums for coins with such features, because they represent a tangible anomaly that cannot be replicated outside the mint, and beyond these physical errors, there are also chemical anomalies that can make certain 1983 pennies extremely valuable, such as variations in the metal composition that were unintended during production. For example, some planchets were accidentally struck with bronze instead of the usual copper alloy, leading to coins with a distinct color, weight, or even sound when dropped, and these coins are exceedingly rare, as most were caught and removed from circulation by the mint quality control inspectors. And when a coin like this surfaces in excellent condition, it is often regarded as a crown jewel among collectors, because it combines rarity, historical significance, and a visible difference that can be immediately appreciated. And condition plays a critical role in the valuation of the 1983 1 cent coin, because while a coin may have all the errors and anomalies in the world, if it has been heavily circulated, scratched, or damaged, its value diminishes drastically. So coins that are graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, exhibiting full mint luster, sharp details, and no post-mint wear, are the ones that can realistically reach values in the tens of millions, and the grading process itself involves a meticulous inspection of every aspect of the coin, from the depth and clarity of the lettering to the presence of any hairlines, nicks, or abrasions. And the rarity of coins that are both error-laden and in pristine condition is what truly drives the astronomical values we are discussing. And adding another layer of interest to the 1983 1 cent is the story of misstrikes that occurred due to planchet issues, including lamination errors where the surface of the coin peels or flakes due to impurities in the metal, and these can occur in small patches or in dramatic sections covering large areas of the coin. And when collectors encounter such a coin with dramatic lamination that does not obscure the main design but adds a visual uniqueness They often place extraordinary value on it, because each coin tells a story of the minting process, and each mistake is a window into the human and mechanical imperfections inherent in mass production. And some 1983 pennies also exhibit die cracks, which are fissures in the mint die that leave raised lines on the coin itself, and depending on the size, location, and visibility of the die crack, collectors may assign considerable value, especially when the crack is dramatic or runs across a significant portion of the coin's design, and combining multiple types of errors on a single coin, such as a double die with an off-center strike and a die crack, creates an exceptionally rare specimen that can command millions at auction, as collectors and investors alike understand the statistical improbability of such a combination. And this brings us to the economic and cultural factors that also contribute to the 1983 1-cent value, because the coin market is not just about rarity, but also about demand, historical context, and the story each coin tells, and the 1983 penny, being part of a series of coins produced during a period of high minting volume but low occurrence of major errors, becomes even more fascinating, because while millions of 1983 pennies were produced for everyday circulation, only a handful exhibit these extraordinary characteristics, creating a supply-demand imbalance that fuels the high prices. And beyond the errors themselves, collectors are often intrigued by the possibility that the 1983 1-cent could serve as an investment that appreciates over time, similar to rare stamps, vintage baseball cards, or other collectible items. And in the world of numismatics, provenance plays a significant role as well, meaning that a coin's history, previous ownership, and documented discovery can all add to its allure and value. So a 1983 1-cent that was once part of a renowned collection or discovered in an unusual circumstance may fetch a higher price, especially if it is accompanied by certification and detailed records, and the story of how these coins are discovered is often as fascinating as the coins themselves, with tales of coins found in old cash registers, forgotten jars of pennies in basements, or even in circulation for decades before being recognized as rare, and these discovery narratives create excitement and a sense of adventure for collectors, adding emotional value to the financial value, which in turn pushes prices higher. And it is also important to note that expert authentication and grading are crucial in this market, because unscrupulous individuals may attempt to pass off altered or fake coins as genuine rare errors, so having a coin certified by a reputable grading service ensures that buyers are confident in their investment. And the grading not only confirms authenticity but also provides an objective assessment of condition, which is critical when we are talking about values in the tens of millions, because even minor discrepancies can affect the price by millions. And beyond the physical and historical aspects, the 1983 1-cent also holds a unique place in popular culture and the numismatic community, because stories of such high-valued coins capture the imagination of the public, and every year, auctions and coin shows feature these rare specimens, generating media attention and further increasing demand, and it is not uncommon for these coins to become the centerpiece of museum exhibitions, private collections, or high-profile sales, reinforcing their status as both cultural and monetary treasures, and for collectors. Next, 1977 1-cent. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping stories in the world of coin collecting, the legendary 1977 1-cent, a seemingly ordinary penny that has taken the numismatic world by storm because of its astonishing value, estimated at a staggering $26 million, and the unique errors and mistakes that make it a true treasure. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a coin that normally costs just a cent suddenly skyrocket into the multi-million-dollar realm? Well, the story of the 1977 1-cent is a perfect storm of historical quirks, minting mistakes, rarity, and collector obsession, all converging to create an object that is far more than its face value, a coin that is not only valuable monetarily but also carries with it the drama, suspense, and intrigue that coin collectors live for. To understand the sheer magnitude of this coin's worth, we have to start at the beginning, back in the late 1970s, when the United States Mint was producing pennies with a focus on efficiency and mass production, unaware that certain subtle errors could turn a simple coin into a fortune. In 1977, the Mint struck billions of pennies for circulation, but among these ordinary coins, a small number experienced minting anomalies that would make them the most coveted pieces for collectors decades later. Some of the key errors include die cracks, double strikes, and off-center strikes, each of which is rare but when combined in the context of this particular year, create coins that are practically priceless. One of the most talked about mistakes is the die crack, which occurs when the engraved steel die used to strike the coins develops a crack due to repeated pressure and wear. Coins struck with these cracked dies often show raised lines on their surfaces, sometimes faint, sometimes dramatic, that indicate where the metal flowed into the gaps of the cracked die during striking. The 1977 1 cent is known for having a variety of these die cracks, ranging from minor to major, and the severity and placement of these cracks significantly influence the value, as coins with larger, more noticeable die cracks are much rarer and thus exponentially more desirable to collectors. Another error that makes the 1977 penny special is the doubled die phenomenon. This occurs when the die itself has a misalignment during the engraving process, resulting in a doubling of the design features on the coin, such as letters, numbers, or even elements of Lincoln's portrait. In the case of the 1977 1 cent, some coins exhibit slight doubling on the date and the word Liberty, while the most extreme examples show dramatic doubling across the obverse and reverse, creating a visual effect that is not only intriguing but also signals rarity that translates directly into astronomical collector value. Off-center strikes are yet another factor contributing to the staggering worth of certain 1977 pennies. When the coin blank is improperly positioned within the coining press, it can result in an off-center strike, where part of the design is missing, or the coin appears shifted, sometimes with as much as 30% of the image displaced. These off-center coins are among the most visually striking errors and can command a premium because each one is unique, and the more extreme the displacement, the more collectors are willing to pay, with some of the most dramatic examples of the 1977 1 cent selling for millions in private sales. Beyond these well-documented errors, the 1977 penny also benefits from a number of more subtle anomalies, such as weak strikes, die deterioration doubling, and planchet imperfections, which while less dramatic individually, when combined with other errors, create coins of exceptional rarity. The historical context is also a key factor in its value. During the late 1970s, coin collecting as a hobby was gaining unprecedented popularity, and collectors were actively hunting for unusual and rare coins, creating a demand that only increased over time. As these specific 1977 era coins began to surface, they were quickly snapped up, and because the exact mintage of the era varieties is unknown and likely extremely low, supply is minuscule compared to the skyrocketing demand, another factor that contributes to the multi-million-dollar valuation. Furthermore, the 1977 1 cent has a mystique built around it because of stories of accidental discoveries in pocket change, rolls of coins purchased at banks, and even coins found years later in old collections that suddenly revealed a die crack, doubling, or off-center strike. These real-life treasure hunting narratives add to the allure and psychological value of the coin, making collectors not only eager to acquire it but also emotionally invested in its rarity. Professional grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, have certified many 1977 1 cent era coins, often awarding them the highest grades for preservation, further solidifying their market value. A coin that has both an exceptional error and a high grade can easily reach multi-million-dollar valuations because it is simultaneously rare in type and pristine in condition. Some particularly famous examples of the 1977 penny show combinations of errors, such as a coin that is both off-center and exhibits doubling on the date, with a die crack running from the rim to the portrait of Lincoln, creating a coin that is effectively one of a kind. These extreme combinations are what drive the astronomical valuations, and even minor variations of the error types of their own collector communities and bidding wars, meaning almost every variation of the 1977 1 cent carries some level of extraordinary value. There is also a fascinating aspect of human psychology at play here, the way collectors perceive error coins as almost living objects with stories embedded in their imperfections. Each die crack, each doubled feature, each off-center strike is a snapshot of a precise moment in the mint's production process, a frozen piece of history that collectors can physically hold in their hands, adding an intangible but powerful layer to the coin's worth. In addition to its intrinsic rarity and error characteristics, the 1977 1 cent also benefits from market dynamics. Coin auctions, private sales, and online marketplaces have created a transparent pricing environment, where exceptional specimens can attract global attention and escalate in price rapidly, sometimes within days of being listed. News reports of record-breaking sales further feed the hype, as collectors are motivated to secure specimens before they disappear, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of escalating demand and skyrocketing value. Beyond the purely monetary considerations, there are broader implications for numismatics. The 1977 1 cent serves as a benchmark for error coins, a reference point for collectors, historians, and mint enthusiasts to study how subtle variations and mistakes can evolve into cultural and financial phenomena. It illustrates the intersection of chance, skill, and history, showing that even a coin mass-produced for general circulation can become a masterpiece in the eyes of the right collector. This coin also represents the ingenuity and unpredictability of the minting process, as no two dies are truly identical, and small changes, wear, or imperfections in dies can create outcomes that were never intended, yet are celebrated and valued decades later. Additionally, the coin's value encourages preservation and careful handling, as even minor damage can drastically reduce its market worth, leading collectors to invest in protective holders, archival storage, and climate-controlled environments, further adding layers of expense and commitment that emphasize its status as a serious investment object. The 1977 1 cent is also significant for educational purposes, as it allows numismatists to examine the technical aspects of minting errors, such as metal flow, die stress, and coining press operation, providing insights into the production process that can inform future studies, preservation techniques, and error detection methods. In practical terms, the coin has transcended mere monetary valuation, becoming a symbol of the unexpected rewards hidden in everyday objects and a reminder that meticulous observation, patience, and knowledge can turn the ordinary into something extraordinary. Next, 1981 cent. Today we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing pieces in American numismatic history, the 1981 cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike due to its extraordinary value, which has skyrocketed to an astonishing $16 million because of the unique errors and mistakes that make it a true treasure among pennies. And as we explore this coin, you'll discover why it commands such an incredible price and why its story is so captivating. Beginning with an overview of the context in which this coin was minted, the year 1980 was a time of significant economic and social changes in the United States, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins annually, but among these millions of 1 cent pieces, a small subset emerged with remarkable deviations that would eventually become highly sought after by collectors. The errors on the 1981 cent coin are diverse and fascinating, ranging from die cracks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws to more unusual anomalies like misaligned lettering, double strikes, and even instances where the metallic composition deviated slightly from the standard copper-plated zinc. Each of these errors contributes to the coin's rarity and desirability. For example, die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coin develops fissures due to repeated use and stress. And when a coin is struck with such a flawed die, it leaves raised lines or irregular ridges on the coin's surface. Some of these die cracks on the 1981 cent are so pronounced and well-defined that they appear almost as artistic features, adding a layer of uniqueness that cannot be replicated. Another fascinating error seen on some of these pennies is the double die error, which results from the die being engraved twice slightly misaligned, producing a visual doubling of the letters, numbers, or images on the coin. And in the case of the 1981 cent, certain coins exhibit subtle doubling on the date or the word Liberty, and for collectors, the subtlety of this doubling can significantly influence the coin's value. Off-center strikes are yet another captivating anomaly, occurring when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the press, leading to portions of the design being cut off or shifted. Some 1981 cent coins display off-center strikes so dramatic that large portions of the design are missing, creating an unusual and eye-catching appearance. Planchet flaws, which involve imperfections in the blank metal disc before striking, can manifest as laminations, cracks, or unusual textures, and these planchet imperfections can make each coin distinct, even among others with the same date and mint mark. There are also errors associated with the coin's metallic composition, as most 1981 cent coins are composed of a copper-plated zinc core, but in rare instances, variations in plating or the zinc core can create noticeable differences in weight, color, or luster, making these coins immediately stand out to trained eyes. The rarity of these errors combined with their visual appeal and historical significance is what drives the 1981 cent's immense value. Beyond the technical errors, there are fascinating stories and possibilities surrounding how these coins came into existence. Many experts speculate that the rapid pace of coin production, combined with the introduction of new machinery and quality control pressures, created ideal conditions for errors to slip through. In addition, human oversight played a role, as inspectors could not examine every coin individually, allowing these mistakes to survive and eventually enter circulation. The possibility that a coin you might casually find in your change could be a multi-million-dollar treasure adds a level of excitement and intrigue that few other collectibles can match. Collectors have discovered that certain mint marks, such as the Philadelphia P or Denver D, have produced more error coins in 1980 than others, and even within these mint marks, the condition of the coin, graded by organizations like PCGS or NGC, can dramatically affect value. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition with prominent errors are considered the pinnacle of desirability. In terms of market value, the $16 million figure reflects not only the rarity and error type but also the intense demand among high-end collectors and investors, who see these coins as both a historical artifact and a financial asset. Some of the most valuable 1981 cent coins have appeared in auctions where bidding wars have driven prices to extraordinary levels, demonstrating the strong interest and competitive nature of the numismatic community. The potential for profit is another factor contributing to the coin's legendary status, as finding one of these rare coins could change a collector's life overnight. Yet the true appeal is not just financial, it's the story behind each coin, each imperfection, telling a tale of the minting process, the human element, and the passage of time. Enthusiasts are also fascinated by the possibilities of undiscovered errors still hidden in circulation or private collections, fueling a sense of treasure hunting that is both thrilling and intellectually engaging. Examining the finer details of these coins, one can see minute variations in the lettering, the portrait of Lincoln, and even the wheat stalks on the reverse, which may be slightly misaligned, doubled, or exhibit raised die lines. Each subtle variation contributes to the coin's uniqueness and collectible appeal. Certain specimens of the 1981 cent are known to exhibit multiple types of errors on a single coin, such as a combination of die cracks and off-center strikes, which are particularly prized for their complexity and rarity. Numismatists often spend years studying the dies, striking processes, and known error populations to identify and verify these coins, as authentication is crucial in a market where provenance and certification can make the difference of millions of dollars. The story of the 1981 cent also highlights the broader trends in coin collecting, where seemingly mundane coins can become extraordinarily valuable due to anomalies, historical context, and collector demand. This coin exemplifies the intersection of history, artistry, and chance, as each error carries with it a glimpse into the mechanical and human aspects of minting. The allure of this penny extends beyond the errors themselves, as collectors appreciate the craftsmanship of the era, the subtle beauty of Lincoln's portrait, and the intricate details of the coin's design. Even in its flawed state, the coin represents a piece of American history, a snapshot of 1980, when the nation was navigating economic challenges, cultural shifts, and technological advancements. It's also worth noting the psychological and cultural factors that elevate such coins to iconic status. The rarity and high value create a sense of mystique, a feeling that owning one connects a collector to a secret world of extraordinary objects hidden within ordinary circulation. And for those who have studied or collected 1981 cents, there is an ongoing fascination with tracking auction results, discovering new error types, and speculating about coins yet to be found. The market for these coins is dynamic, influenced by economic trends, collector interest, and the occasional sensational discovery that captures public attention. The stories of individuals who have stumbled upon these coins or inherited them add a human dimension to the technical and monetary aspects, creating a rich narrative tapestry that makes the 1981 cent a legendary item. In conclusion, the 1981 cent coin's value of $16 million is not arbitrary but a reflection of its exceptional rarity, the remarkable variety of errors and mistakes it exhibits, the meticulous documentation by numismatists, and the passionate demand from collectors and investors who recognize its historical and financial significance. Each coin carries a story of chance, craftsmanship, and imperfection that together create a collectible of unparalleled interest, making it one of the most sought-after and fascinating coins in modern American numismatics. And for anyone interested in coin collecting, the 1981 cent serves as a vivid reminder that even the most commonplace objects can hold extraordinary value when errors, history, and rarity converge, and it challenges collectors and enthusiasts alike to look closer at every coin, to study, to discover, and to appreciate the incredible journey from mint to market. Today we're diving into a truly fascinating story from the world of rare coins, one that has captivated collectors and numismatists for decades: the 1975 United States 1-cent coin, a coin whose value has skyrocketed due to unique errors and mistakes that make it exceptionally rare and highly sought after, commanding prices around $8 million in certain cases. And the story behind it is as rich as the history of the coin itself. The 1975 penny, struck at the Denver Mint, initially seemed like any other coin entering circulation during a period when the U.S. economy was facing post-Vietnam War inflation and the coinage system was seeing adjustments in composition and minting techniques. Yet hidden within what appeared to be an ordinary 1-cent coin lay a series of anomalies that would eventually make some specimens extraordinarily valuable and nearly legendary in the coin collecting community. To fully understand why this coin is worth so much, we need to explore the specific types of errors it exhibits, the historical context of the mid-1970s minting process, and the factors that create such rarity. One of the most famous features of the 1975 penny is the double die obverse error, which occurs when the coin's die, the metal piece used to strike the coin, is misaligned or receives multiple impressions during the minting process, leading to doubled images on key design elements such as the lettering of Liberty and the date. 1975, itself, which collectors immediately recognize as a visually striking and significant deviation from standard minting practices, and the doubling is so pronounced on some coins that it almost appears as though the letters and numbers are stamped twice, a feature that dramatically increases the coin's desirability. Another major error contributing to its high value is the off-center strike, which is when the blank metal planchet is not properly aligned within the coin press, causing the design to be partially missing or shifted, creating a striking visual anomaly that makes each off-center coin unique. Some 1975 D pennies display a partial Lincoln portrait or a rimless edge that seems to float around the design, and these off-center coins are extremely limited in number because the mint typically destroyed the most severely misaligned strikes, leaving only a handful for collectors to discover, thus enhancing scarcity and demand. Alongside double dies and off-center strikes, some 1975 D pennies were produced with die cracks, small fissures in the metal die that transfer onto the coin as raised lines or unintended ridges, giving the coin an almost textured appearance that further distinguishes it from regular issues. These die cracks can sometimes run through Lincoln's bust or the reverse wheat stalks, making each affected coin entirely unique, and because such variations were accidental, no two coins are exactly alike, which is a key factor in why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts, including millions, for examples in pristine condition. Beyond physical striking errors, chemical and planchet errors also play a role in the coin's high value. For instance, some 1975 D pennies were struck on incorrect planchets intended for other denominations, resulting in coins that are slightly thicker or thinner, or that exhibit a different color or metallic composition than standard copper-plated zinc pennies introduced in the mid-1970s. Such misstruck planchets are extremely rare, as quality control usually removed them, and when discovered today, they represent some of the most valuable specimens for advanced collectors. The rarity and high valuation are also enhanced by the coin's survival rate, which is closely tied to circulation and handling. Many 1975 D pennies entered everyday use and were worn down to the point where any errors would be nearly invisible, but those that were preserved in mint or near-mint condition became incredibly valuable because collectors prize both the error and the state of preservation. In addition, provenance plays a significant role, as coins with documented histories or that originate from famous collections can fetch higher prices. For example, a 1975 D penny with a well-documented discovery story or certification from grading authorities such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can see its value multiply, especially if it is graded at the highest levels like MS 70, where the coin is virtually flawless. The allure of this coin is not just limited to its physical characteristics. It represents a moment in U.S. minting history where production errors were more common than today due to less automated oversight, making it a fascinating snapshot for both historians and collectors who study minting technology and numismatic trends. Furthermore, speculation around the 1975 D penny contributes to its astronomical value, because only a limited number of error coins are known to exist. The scarcity creates a competitive market where serious collectors and investors are willing to pay millions to secure a coin, particularly those that exhibit multiple error types simultaneously, such as a double die combined with a slight off-center strike or die cracks, creating a layered rarity that few coins can match. The coin's value is also impacted by trends in numismatics and broader economic conditions. During periods of economic uncertainty, rare coins often become alternative investments, and the 1975 D penny, with its rich error history, becomes a tangible asset with historical significance and aesthetic appeal, further driving demand and escalating prices. Experts in coin grading emphasize that even subtle variations in doubling or misalignment can affect valuation by hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, which underscores why collectors meticulously study every line, letter, and number on each coin, sometimes using magnification tools or specialized lighting to uncover anomalies invisible to the naked eye. And these tiny details can mean the difference between a moderately valuable coin and an $8 million masterpiece. Beyond the physical and market factors, the story of the 1975 D penny has a cultural element that adds to its mystique. Coin enthusiasts often share anecdotes of discovery, the thrill of uncovering a rare error in circulation, and debates over the authenticity and grading of specimens, creating a vibrant community that elevates the coin's status beyond its intrinsic metallic value. The excitement is compounded by the potential for undiscovered coins still hidden in coin rolls, estates, or collections, sparking treasure hunts among collectors and even casual hobbyists who dream of finding the next high-value 1975 D penny that could transform their collection or financial situation. Scientific analysis also adds to the coin's allure. Metallurgical studies, dye-alignment mapping, and historical mint records are all used to trace the origins of specific errors, giving collectors an almost forensic perspective on each coin. And this attention to detail contributes to the perception of value, as every aspect of the coin tells a story about production methods, historical context, and chance occurrences that would be impossible to replicate today. Interestingly, the 1975 D penny also serves as a gateway to understanding broader numismatic phenomena, as errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks appear in other coin series, but the combination and quality of errors on this particular issue make it exceptionally noteworthy, and collectors often compare it to other famous error coins from different years and denominations to assess rarity, value, and investment potential, creating a dynamic market of knowledge, trade, and prestige. Furthermore, the 1975 D penny demonstrates how something seemingly small and ordinary, a 1-cent coin, can achieve near-mythical status in the collector's world, illustrating the interplay between chance, craftsmanship, human error, and historical circumstance that drives the numismatic market. The stories of famous finds, auction records, and private sales illustrate just how coveted these coins are. In some cases, coins with certified high-grade double dies or off-center strikes have changed hands for millions, proving that the combination of scarcity, error prominence, and condition can yield extraordinary financial rewards. Each coin becomes a unique artifact that embodies both economic value and a tangible connection to a specific moment in U.S. minting history, and this dual significance, monetary and historical, is what drives such fervent interest among collectors and investors alike.